Mashpaka. I'm Katabia. I'm here to talk to you about the fear of YAHUAH. Some people have it and some don't. And some people don't even know what it is. But we have an ancestor named Danyal, who was a true example for us to follow. Let's hear a bit of his story.
Danyal in the Lion's Den. A long time ago, there lived a man named Danyal from the tribe of YAHUAH. He was a Yasharali, like you and me, taken away captive into Babylon with the rest of Yasharal. Now Danyal was a faithful servant unto the Most High YAHUAH, keeping his commandments and praying always, serving YAHUAH with reverence. And at that time, Danyal lived under the rule of a powerful king named Darius. King Darius really liked Danyal because he was wise, honest, and very good at his job. He decided to make Danyal one of his most trusted advisors, which made some of the other advisors very jealous. So then the other advisors tried to find grounds for charges against Danyal and his conduct, but they were unable to do so. They could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Finally, these men said, "We will never find any basis for charges against Danyal unless it has something to do with the law of his Lord." So they plotted to get rid of Danyal. They tricked the king into making a law which said that nobody could pray to any other all or person except the king for 30 days. Anyone who disobeyed this law will be thrown into a den filled with hungry lions. Now when Danyal learned about the law, he went home to his room with open windows toward Jerusalem, and 3 times a day he prayed on his knees, giving thanks to YAHUAH, just as he had done before. Then these men went as a group and found Danyal praying, asking YAHUAH for help. So they went to the king and spoke to him about his royal law. "Did you not make a law that during the next 30 days, anyone who prays to any owl or human being except you, your majesty, will be thrown into the lion's den?" The king answered, "The law stands, which cannot be repealed." Then they told the king, "It was Danyal, who is one of the exiles from YAHUAH. He still prays 3 times a day." When the king heard this, he was greatly distressed. He was determined to rescue Danyal and made every effort until sundown to save him. Then the man went to King Darius and said to him, "Remember, your majesty, that according to our law, no law that the king issues can be changed." So the king reluctantly gave the order, and they brought Danyal and threw him into the lion's den. The king said to Danyal, "May your YAHUAH, whom you serve continually, rescue you." A stone was placed over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet ring so that Danyal's situation might not be changed. Then the king returned to his palace and spent the night without eating, without any entertainment being brought to him. And he could not sleep. At the first light of dawn, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. And when he came near the den, he called to Danyal in anguish of voice, "Danyal, servant of the living YAHUAH, has your YAHUAH, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Danyal answered, "May the king live forever. My YAHUAH sent his malak, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me because I was found innocent in his sight, nor have I ever done any wrong before you, your majesty." The king was overjoyed and gave orders to lift Danyal out of the den. And when Danyal was lifted from the den, no wounds was found on him because he had trusted in his YAHUAH. At the king's command, the men who had falsely accused Danyal were brought in and thrown into the lion's den, along with their wives and children. And before they reached the floor of the den, the lions overpowered them. Then King Darius wrote to all the nations and peoples of every language in all the earth, "May you prosper greatly. I issue a decree that in every part of my kingdom, people must fear and reverence the YAHUAH of Danyal. For he is the living YAHUAH, and he endures forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed. His dominion will never end. He rescues and he saves. He performs signs and wonders in the heavens and on the earth. He has rescued Danyal from the power of the lions. And so Danyal prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. The end.
Pop quiz! 1.
Do you believe that Danyal had the fear YARAH of YAHUAH? No, he did what he wanted, maybe, or yes. If you said yes, then you're correct.
2.
Why do you believe Ab YAHUAH saved Danyal? He didn't save him? Danyal obeyed Yahuwah and had fear and faith in Yah? Or he had to? If you said Danyal obeyed Yahuwah and had fear and faith in Yah, you're correct. Good job.
3.
Danyal was very wise. Do you believe it had anything to do with the fear of Yahuwah? No, being wise has nothing to do with fear. Or yes, the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 9 and 10. If you said yes, the fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, oh, you're correct. Great job. Revisiting the word on the fear of Yahuwah. Fear Yahuwah, your Lord, serve him only, and take your oaths in his name. Devarim, Deuteronomy 6 and 13. You who fear him, trust in Yahuwah. He is their help and shield. Tehillim, Psalms, chapter 1, 15 and 11. The wise fear Yahuwah and shun evil, but a fool is hot-headed and yet feels secure. Mashleh, Proverbs 14 and 16. Scripture study. Here are some scriptures on fearing YARAH YAHUAH. Pause the video and write them down with an older sibling or your parents' help. Remember to always meditate on Yahuwah's word. It is life. The fear of Yahuwah. Do you have it? Word of the day. Fear, which in Ari means YARAH, which means fear, reverence, awesome, fearing.
Thanks for watching!